Hey, Cancers, welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. If this message resonates with you, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, okay. We have arrows, the ring, the sword, the seed, and the offering. Cancers. Some of my cancers are getting married. So, this could quite literally be for some of my cancers that you have really just kind of gone through this point of contention with your family about whether or not you can do something and that's okay, because you want to get married. And that's what you're going to do, and you're doing it, and you're stepping into this offering of a new beginning, that's very passionate and committed and all of the wonderful things. Okay. I just wanted to make that side note. With the sword, this really is the idea of cutting away with the confusion, right? I mean, if there was ever any confusion before, let that be dealt with, because it's really, I want to say, just kind of standing in your way to really go towards what it is that you want to go towards. And with the offering and the seed, I mean, the seed is the idea of, you have the oak in the acorn. And so, you have everything that you need to go to that next level. And the offering is this idea. I mean, the offering is oftentimes, like a gift, that says, I offer this in exchange for that. And I kind of get the feeling, Cancer, that there is just this offer of exchange, that's committing you to something that you're passionate about. For my cancers who aren't getting married, it could be that it's somebody that you're getting into a relationship with. It could be a project that you are becoming involved with. But it's like, I need you to commit to this. I don't know why, but I worked very briefly as a director of marketing with an insurance company. And we had to do a lot of the recruiting as well. And so there was a company that would sign on their agents and give them a signing bonus, right? And it was like, okay, well, we'll give you a $20,000 signing bonus, but you have to work with us for 3 years, And those agents, they were desperate, and so they would take that $20,000 and then they would be locked into a company that really did not serve them well, which is a terrible example to use. But I feel like there is an idea here, Cancers, of you being offered, like a contract that really locks you in, but it is a contract that locks you into something that I think offers you the opportunity to really develop the things that you want to develop. Sorry for the bad analogy, but you do what you know, right? And I just watched a lot of people get stuck in some shit that way. But that's not to say that that's what you're doing, Cancer, because I think that this indicates that you're doing something that you really are passionate about. You sincerely do want to commit yourself to it. And perhaps it's just that you need to go through the contract and study, understand the details of it. Make sure you're not locking yourself into anything that you will end up regretting. Be smart, I guess, is what I want to say. The Knight of Swords, the High Priestess. Cancer. The Knight of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the High Priestess, the King of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups. I feel like Cancers, there's an idea here of, I mean, the sword is the idea of having to cut away with things that don't serve you. And I feel like there's an idea here of something that really served as a disappointment for you, that I think is kind of it's almost like your luck has changed with it. There's somebody that I watch, and they're always like, go back to the things that happened in September. And then there's another person that I watched, and they're like, time is really, like, yeah, September, but maybe August, September, October. I feel like there were things, Cancer, that you were maybe trying to like manifest in your life that didn't pan out for you. And yet it's almost as though I want to say like it's coming back around again. And this time, instead of being something that serves as a disappointment for you, I want to say it's like there has been like an addressing of every issue that it was brought to the table, and a contract that's being delivered that I think you desperately wanted, possibly like just this past summer, fall. Like it's coming into fruition, which also would play into my Cancers who are getting married, because maybe some of y'all got engaged. Right? Okay, so that's fun. Either way, okay, Cancers. Let's see what else we can get for y'all. I mean, I really do feel like there's this big transition though for y'all. There's something that you're passionate about. There's something that you're very committed to, and an opportunity that you're being given that I think is just going to really expand your world in a way that you had wanted it to be previously, and it just didn't really happen. It didn't work for whatever reason. It was like, I wanted to say like divine timing. Um, right? They're laid out. It's laid out. The High Priestess again, the Queen of Cups, and the Four of Swords. I mean, there really is this idea, Cancer, of you calling something to you, and possibly there being a little bit of confusion about this. Like, it wasn't something that you really wanted, like in the first place. And if it wasn't something that, if there was confusion around, I want to say like you wanted it, but there were just a lot of issues that needed to be dealt with. It's like, it's not that I don't want this, it's that I don't want it if it comes with all of that. You know what I mean? And I think feeling like the confusion has been cleared, and you've called something into you that really is going to offer you an opportunity to engage in all of the things that you are passionate about, that you feel committed to. Because I feel like you've just felt like you haven't been able to really engage with any of the things that you are sincerely committed to. Sorry, I don't know if I just turned my headphones off. My hair is like sweating. Okay, Cancer. Let's see what else we can get for y'all. I mean, this is great though. I mean, I feel like the Magician. I do feel like there's a very high element of manifestation here, Cancers. And it's like, I know what I want. I've known what I wanted. I've had it written down. I've had it in my manifestations. I've put it in my journals. I have spoken it into existence. I have lived in the world where it has already happened, like throwing some Abraham Hicks in there. Like, let me sprinkle all of the things that I can access. Because I'm going to will this into existence. I kind of get the feeling that it didn't work until it did. And it's something that you really love. It's something that you really want to commit yourself to. It's something that you're passionate about. And it's something that I think feels a bit like magic, which I love. Okay, Cancers. Two of Wands. I kind of want to say like absence makes the heart grow fonder with the Two of Wands. I mean, in this deck, it's kind of the idea of like having to part ways, like decisions being made that affect other people. But like ultimately, the idea here is that like decisions were being made that was affecting you, or that were affecting you. And so you had to make decisions on your behalf that affected other people. And I kind of get the feeling that there's an idea here of, with that came a high level of endings and like a need for transformation, right? Because it's like people can get away with shitty behavior as long as you let them, right? And then once you decide to like draw that line and hold that boundary, when they can no longer get away with the shitty behavior, I think they start to realize, it's kind of like that wake up call, of like, wow, I really took that for granted, or I took advantage of that, or like of this opportunity, I took advantage of this person, I took advantage of whatever. And it's just kind of the idea of like recognizing the fact that an opportunity passed them by because they took advantage of it, and it's like, I feel like Cancers, there's an idea here of you just really pulling away and you saying, okay, fine, if that's like, that's how you want to feel about it, that's how you want to behave, if that's how you want to act, like, then I will step back. I will emotionally detach myself from the situation and work on what I know will serve me well. Because I just like I mean, Cancers, we're very, sensitive, admittedly, like there's an element of sensitivity, but like here's like a cultural statement that I would like to make. We live in a culture that is very fearful of emotion. They're fearful of, like to our society and culture in general. This is a very general statement. So, if you don't feel like this applies to you, then ignore it. But in general, our culture is very fearful of the idea of emotion because emotion is connected to the idea of irrationality, right? Was it like in the 1950s when women were institutionalized for having postpartum syndrome? Like, oh, they lost their shit. Like, no, their body is undergoing like mass changes. Their the chemicals are off, and rather than a culture that was sensitive to the transition that women were undergoing, they just called them crazy and wrote them off. And I think that plays itself out even today in today's society. Women who express emotion are immediately tagged as erratic, and so women have really had to, in the past, I want to say like 15, 20 years, you've really seen this like uprising of women who are like, I will stand in my anger, I will stand in my frustration, I will allow my sadness to occur, and you will not tell me that I am less of a person because I am able to comprehend and understand and process emotion, and you are not. Like, just because you don't speak this language doesn't mean it's not a language. I saw this thing earlier, and it was like, it would be like telling somebody that just because you don't speak Spanish, Spanish isn't a language. Like, I'm sorry, what? You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like there's this idea, Cancers, of possibly like the issue in this relationship or in this opportunity, even if it was a professional opportunity, was it like if you express emotion in this, which obviously, if you're invested in something mentally, spiritually, physically, then your emotions are going to be invested in that as well. And if you are restricted from experiencing your emotions, then you're restricted in being able to process that, like, the evolution of your experience, and that's not okay. And I feel like there's that, like, what's happening here is kind of like this call back to like the beauty of the language of emotion, and that you are allowed to feel and you are allowed to, navigate that. And in fact, that is your gift and your power. You are an empath, Cancer. Like, it's sometimes unnerving, I think, to people being around water signs, because we are empathic, you know what I mean? And it's just kind of like I can feel your emotional processing, which means I can understand the language of you that you may not even be able to understand, right? And how intimidating is that for people? Like, hella. So, it's whatever. And I understand that it's a conflict and that it's something that we need to overcome as a society. But I feel like as an individual, Cancer, you are, I want to say, like, receiving justice in who you are and your passions and your desires, and you're being offered the opportunity to commit yourself to something that honors you and your gift and your process, whether it's a relationship, professional endeavor, or like, whatever. Take it how it resonates. These are general reads. You can be on either side of the story. I am doing personal reads, so if you'd be interested in booking a personal read with me, please click the link in the description box below. If this is where we part ways, thank you so much for spending some time with me. Please, please, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. All of your support greatly, greatly helps. And if this is where we part ways, thank you so much for spending some time with me. I hope that you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you again soon. Bye.